Hello there everyone, Matt here with virtualinstructor.com, and in this video I'm going to share with you a time lapse that was taken from one of our course modules from the course, the Oil Pastel Course. So this course is all about using oil pastels, and the time lapse I'm going to share with you is the entire process of creating one of the pieces of art for this particular course. We're going to draw some black-eyed Susans on black paper using, of course, oil pastels. Now I'm going to walk you through the entire process of the time lapse and narrate what's going on and what my thought process was. So you're going to learn some things in this particular video, hopefully. But if you want to go deeper with your exploration of oil pastels, of course, you can take the entire course, which is part of our membership program at thevirtualinstructor.com. And our membership program includes a variety of drawing and painting courses on a variety of subject matter and media, weekly live lessons, and weekly critiques, which are part of the Members Minute, and a year-long curriculum for visual arts teachers. If you want to check out our membership program, I'll leave a link in the description below. If you want to just get your feet wet and take a look at a few of our course videos and ebooks for free, you can do that as well. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below this video. And I'll also leave a link to the course, the Oil Pastel Course, if you want to check that out as well. With that being said, I hope you enjoy the following time lapse. So this drawing was created on black Canson Mi-Teintes pastel paper, and as you can see, I'm using the more heavily textured side of the paper. Now, I began this drawing by just basically looking at the overall larger shapes of each one of these flowers and sketched out the contours very loosely with a light pencil. I used an H pencil here, so I was careful not to put too much pressure on the pencil to create indentations in the surface of the paper. From there, I broke the larger shapes down into the smaller shapes, and in this particular case, we're talking about the petals and the stems, basically. Once I had the basic construction in place, I was ready to start with the oil pastel applications. Now for this particular piece, I decided that I was going to try to get as much oil pastel on the surface as quickly as possible. And then once I had a good base application in place, then I would start focusing on individual sections of the image. So you can see here in the early process of applying oil pastels, I'm trying to get as much material on the surface as quickly as possible, basically filling in all of the picture plane very quickly and loosely. I decided to add just a slight bit of variety in the background, variety mainly in value so that we could see a little bit of definition there and a little bit of the illusion of space before turning my attention back to the petals on the flowers. And of course, it was at this point when it was time to start creating a formulation for how I was going to layer the colors in order to create the desired effect in the final painting/drawing. And you can see here I use a few different yellows before basically deciding to use a warmer yellow and a cooler yellow. And I also experiment with several different oranges and browns as well, trying to create a variety or a bit more variety in the color, but also a range of value as well. So you can see I'm using the browns in some of the shadowed areas to create the darker versions of the yellow. And I'm also adding some of that cooler yellow in areas where we see a stronger highlight. Now, for the moment, this is creating a broad enough range of value, but as you'll see later in the process, I do go back and extend that range a little bit more, making the highlights a little bit lighter and making the shadows a little bit stronger as well. And this is naturally going to occur in most colored images that you create, because in this early stage, we still just don't have a broad enough range of value in the other portions of the picture plane to really make an accurate evaluation on how far we need to push the values. So as we get more values in place, then we start to discover that we need to push them a little bit further, or that's often the case. Now you also notice as we worked on some of the center portions of the flower that I added a bit of purple and orange in those areas as well. And these colors aren't necessarily obvious in the reference. In fact, you might not even see them at all, and they could be there or they might not be there. Let's just put it that way. I like to basically exaggerate colors, and if I see a hint of a purple, then I'll try to accentuate that a little bit and make it a little bit more of a purple, for example, in the finished drawing or painting. And that's why I used a lighter purple for some of the highlights for the center portions of the flowers, and a little bit of reflected light with a little bit of that orange underneath as well, just areas where we would expect to see some shadow. So you can see I basically repeated that ordering of layered colors throughout the picture plane on all of the other flowers, and of course on all the other center portions of the flowers before moving back to the background. And this is when we start to really push the range of value and also push the range of color in the image as well. So I'm using a variety of different greens and a variety of different intensities of green too. So a lot of these greens in the background are muted, meaning that there's grays that are mixed in with them, or I'm using kind of a grayish green to describe them in the drawing. I'm also using bits of black here and there, but I'm not leaving the black by itself on its own. I'm adding bits of blue on top of that, or maybe a darker green in areas as well. Black is such a strong color that it can overpower an image or make an area look flat if you overuse it. So it's always best to mix black with another color to make it look more natural. Now, obviously, I am relying on the shapes of color and value to insinuate the details within this scene, and it's amazing how much you can get away with by just insinuating light areas and dark areas, or basically describing light and dark areas. And your viewer, of course, picks up all of these details and puts them together in their mind. So you don't have to get super detailed with every drawing and painting that you create, and this is especially true with oil pastels. In fact, I love oil pastels so much because it forces me to be loose and not get wrapped up in all the details quite so much, because you're working with a bulkier tip. Now here, as we work down to the lower part of the picture plane, I'm using a little bit more black. I'm creating a little bit more contrast, but still making sure that I incorporate bits of color even in those darker areas in order to make sure that those blacks appear natural. Now we're bringing in a little bit more purple here. There is a slightly different type of flower poking through, and of course that pop of color adds a little bit more interest to the image. And here we can see I'm going back with a lighter, much lighter yellow, broadening that range of value as I mentioned I would earlier on in the process. And of course, we can't make those kind of evaluations until we've got the entire picture plane covered. So there you have it. That's what I was thinking as I went through the process of creating this oil pastel drawing of some black-eyed Susans. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you were able to pick up a couple of things here and there. Remember, if you want to check out our membership program, which includes this course and many others, there's a link in the description below. You can go check it out. If you want to check out 3 of our course videos and ebooks for free, again, there's a link in the description below. And if you haven't done so yet, or if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and click on that notification bell so you're notified when we upload new videos so you don't miss videos like this. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I wish you all the very best in your artistic success.